I purposefully ignored what my husband told me he wanted for Father's Day, and he's now ignoring me and won't accept my apologies. What can I do to make it up to him? Me and my husband have been together for the past 9 years. We have 2 kids, an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. For Mother's Day, all I wanted was a free day. I wanted my husband to take the kids out somewhere for the day so that I could be home alone and relax. Instead, he got me and the kids tickets to have a fun day out. And it was fun, and me and the kids did have a good time, but it irked me that he gave me the exact opposite of what I'd asked for. For Father's Day, my husband also wanted a free day so that he could stay home and game all day. He games all the time with his friends. He'll get home from work, maybe spend the time between then and dinner with the kids, before going up to his office to game for a few hours with friends. Instead, I got him and the kids cards for an arcade an hour away with a ton of tokens. I gave him the cards during dinner on Saturday so that he and the kids could leave early and spend all day playing with them. I got my free day, and he and the kids got to make a lot of memories together. He and I got into a fight when the kids went to bed. He was angry that I ignored what he wanted for Father's Day. I was angry that he didn't see that he had done the same thing to me on Mother's Day. He's been ignoring me since and won't accept my apologies. Edit. Some people are thinking that me, my husband, and our kids went out for Mother's Day. We didn't. I took the kids out for the day while he played video games all day with his friends. Edit. I can't believe that I have to say this. I do not hate, resent, or in any other way dislike my children. My point was not that going on a day out with them is terrible and I hate it. My point was that it really sucks asking for one thing and being given the opposite. In the comments, Hobaloeb says, "That's hilarious. I wouldn't apologize at all. Tell him to come talk to you when he's done being a piss baby." And OP says, "I really don't feel sorry, and I feel like I was justified. I just want him to stop ignoring me." Bad Acid says, "There is no way that he didn't know what he was doing when he set up a day with you and the kids on Mother's Day without him around. Or I guess maybe he's legitimately insane. I feel crazy reading these comments accusing you of resenting your kids or being a bad wife for getting petty. Like, yeah, it was petty. People get petty when they're mistreated and taken advantage of. And now he's lying to you and saying that it's not the same and not what he was trying to do? Please. Any husband with half a brain knows that Mother's Day is a holiday that the father/husband participates in actively. Not just planning or buying, but is present with you, with the kids, trying to give you time off. It's what he wanted for Father's Day. He knew that it's what you wanted for Mother's Day. Yeah, it was petty. I would be petty too, if my partner got me an obligation and got themselves a day of rest. You two need to talk it out, but he needs to own up to what he did. OP says, "I don't understand how people think that I resent my own kids. On both days, the kids had so much fun. When they came back from the arcade, they wouldn't stop telling me how much fun they had and showing me the prizes they had helped win. When we had our fight, it was after they were in bed. They've picked up on him ignoring me, but I've not told them why. Just that he's busy with work and is cranky because of it." Some of the people responding to this are teenagers. There is no age limit. I'm not surprised you're getting dumb responses like accusations of hating your kids. OP says, "There are many accusations of me hating my kids, and calling me selfish for wanting to have a day to myself instead of spending it with my kids, as if I have an infinite amount of energy and time in the day to cook, clean, take care of the kids, and have time for myself when I don't." The part that got me was the very end, when OP saying, "He's been ignoring me since and won't accept my apologies." I understand that there's a lot of give and take in marriages and in relationships, and that when it's elevated to this height, which feels like, for most, the pinnacle of your bond with another person. You have a house, you have kids, you've been married, you've been together for quite a while. It is natural to apologize in situations like this, when I myself don't think you have anything to apologize for. You have to compromise, find agreements and middle grounds on things that you maybe internally don't want to find an agreement or middle ground for, but you have to do it for your family. I understand that. But I don't see him holding up his end of the contract. All I see is him being lazy, greedy, and spiteful. And genuinely, even with the added context of their marriage, kids, household, all of that, she has nothing to apologize for. And I don't know why she was apologizing to him. He doesn't deserve it. He's actively ignoring you. He is being childish and pathetic. He is actively sinking this marriage, and if it fails, it will be his fault. This is not how you treat your partner. There is something wrong with him. He is a dick-headed asshole. Insane that he starts a fight with you when you have been the one keeping the peace, all because he can't handle his own medicine. It was more than okay for you to be petty in this instance. It's not okay for him to continue being hypocritical in the way that he is. Something has to change. And now, on to the update. People keep asking me for an update, so here you go. We're in the process of getting a divorce. Now please stop asking for an update. In the comments, Corfizz74 says, "Thank you for updating us, and I'm sorry that you have to go through this. Did he ever see reason about the mothers equal Father's Day gift? Or did he remain willfully obtuse to the end?" OP replies, "He hasn't, and still says that when he did it to me was different to when I did the same thing to him." Leoka says, "I'm sorry. I hope you're able to heal and find someone you won't have to have an eye for an eye in order to get them to understand what you need." OP says, "I'm just hoping to find someone with basic empathy. I did all of that, and he still doesn't understand why I was upset with my gift. At least now you can relax when he has the kiddos." OP says, "I'll relax when they're at my parents' house, since he doesn't want custody of them." What a stand-up individual! What a cool guy! One Welcome says, "I would eat my own tongue before I apologize to him. You make nothing up to him. Did he make Mother's Day up to you? Please. These are all grown-ass men who manage their lives in every other aspect. This is just laziness." And OP says, "No. He never apologized for Mother's Day. Throw the whole husband away. My ex forgot Christmas, Mother's Days, birthdays, and he actually said that he was planning it. It doesn't get better. It only gets worse. I promise you there's freedom on the other side." And OP says, "That's the plan." When asked why they don't get marriage counseling, OP says, "He refused to go many times until he told me that he wanted a divorce, and all of a sudden it was, whoa, we don't have to go that far. What happened until death do us part? Why don't we go talk to someone? For the kids." That ship sailed long ago. And on to the latest update, posted 7 months after the first update and 1 year after the original post, titled, "Mother's Day is infinitely better now that I'm single than it was when I was married." I didn't wake up to a messy kitchen that I was expected to clean after eating a subpar breakfast. I didn't have to fight with anyone over what gift I was given. I didn't have to cook dinner after an exhausting day where I got no help or thanks from my ex. I didn't have to do anything else that I came to expect with Mother's Day. I didn't feel the stress that I've felt every other Mother's Day. I got to have a lazy morning in bed with my kids. We made pancakes for brunch. They gave me cards that they had made in school, and we watched movies on the couch all day and ordered pizza for dinner, and it was wonderful. In the comments, Lower Stick says, "The last update was perfection. I will always remember the first Christmas after my parents divorced. My father was always in a bad mood on Christmas Day, with one exception in the 12 Christmases that I remember with him. The first Christmas after divorce, my baby sister didn't start the day crying because of all the tension in the air. No presents were thrown at us. We spent the whole day in jammies and didn't have to dress up for dinner. It was bliss." This is a great example for why parents may be better off divorced for their children, if not for themselves too. My unhappy parents stayed together, and me and my siblings wished that they would just get divorced. Kids are not idiots. They can sense the tension and unhappiness. Jezebel103 says, "I bet that's another man who was blindsided when his wife finally had enough. Good for you to choose your own happiness and well-being. I wish that more people realized that a relationship is like a bank account. If only one person is putting money in the bank and the other one is only withdrawing from the account, in the end, you'll end up overdrawn. I'm also fully expecting him to be a sudden opponent of no-fault divorce for breaking up marriages. That's been on the rise lately, especially with his "what happened to until death do us part." I'm fully expecting this guy to ride the manosphere and to be all the more miserable for it. And as I said, if the divorce is coming, it will be all on him, because it is, and it was. I don't understand how people can get so comfortable to be such an asshole like he is. Some people just become so comfortable and stale in their relationships that they start taking it for granted, and then the only time they see the error of their ways is when their partner is on the way out. Oh, what do you mean till death do us part? Buddy, you suck. He deserved to get divorced. He refused to apologize. Why is the apologizing only on the wronged party? Why do you get to do so much damage, and OP has to apologize for the damage that you do every time, and you refuse to see where she is coming from, and you refuse to give your own apology because I don't have to give that. I didn't do anything wrong. You did me wrong when you gave me a taste of my own medicine. I applaud you, OP, for sticking in there so long, but really there comes a breaking point and there comes a time where divorce is the best option and you do have to do it. But I'm sure there'll be someone that is like, oh, you don't understand relationships. You always say divorce. Okay, if you have that opinion, when you see someone that's going through a marriage like OP's, I want you to take that opinion and bring it to the person in OP's shoes and tell them, oh man, you just don't understand dating enough. You know, don't take divorce so lightly. You should stick it out in that relationship. It's so easy to type that on the internet into the comments without any repercussions. I want those who have that opinion to go tell people like OP to do that to their face and see what reaction they get. Please God do it, because I'm so sick of people saying it in the comments. Our next post is by user SadDig901 and it's titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law that her generous offer was actually a manipulative way to control my life?" Okay, so I, female 30, am engaged to my fiancé Mark, male 31. We're getting married in 6 months. Mark's family, especially his mother, I'll be calling her mother-in-law, are a lot. They're quite wealthy and traditional, and frankly, mother-in-law has a habit of trying to micromanage everything in Mark's life, and by extension, now mine. The big drama started around the wedding venue. Mark and I found this beautiful, slightly unconventional place that we both absolutely loved. It's an old, restored theater downtown. Exposed brick, a bit quirky, totally us. It's also pricey, but within our budget if we make some compromises elsewhere. We were so excited. We told mother-in-law and father-in-law. Father-in-law was reserved but seemed okay. But mother-in-law? She visibly recoiled. Her dream, apparently, was for us to get married at the same exclusive country club that she got married at, where all their friends have weddings. She started immediately listing all of the problems with the theater venue. Parking will be a nightmare. It's not sophisticated enough. What about the acoustics for the string quartet that I was planning? We weren't planning a string quartet, by the way. Then came the offer. Mother-in-law sat us down and said, very formally, that while she and father-in-law were disappointed we weren't considering the country club, they understood that it was our day. But because the theater venue was so much more expensive than what they had budgeted for, which we never asked them to budget for, we had our own budget, they would graciously offer us a substantial sum of money, enough to cover about 40% of the theater venue cost. It sounded generous, right? Mark thought so. I was immediately wary. Mother-in-law's gifts always come with strings. I thanked them, but said that we had our budget covered and would be fine. Mother-in-law got this tight, almost angry look. She said, "Nonsense, darling. A wedding should be a celebration, not a financial stressor. We want to do this for you." She kept pushing. Father-in-law added that it was a genuine wedding gift, no strings attached. Mark was beaming, thanking his parents profusely, saying how amazing they were. I felt cornered. Eventually, I caved and accepted, still feeling uneasy. Later that week, mother-in-law started sending me links to florists near the country club, links to bakers who only deliver to the country club. She started asking about decor choices that would only make sense at the country club. When I gently reminded her that we were having the wedding at the theater, she would get flustered and say things like, "Oh, right. Well, this florist might make an exception." Or, "It's just so much easier with vendors who know the traditional venues." The final straw came last night. We were at their house for dinner. Mother-in-law brought up the venue again. She said, "Now, about the ceremony flow at the theater. I was thinking it might be easier to have the reception at the country club after. Just the reception, for dancing and easier bar service." I snapped. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Mother-in-law, with all due respect, this stops now. We chose the theater. We love the theater. Your generous offer wasn't about helping us. It was about buying control over our wedding to force it into being your dream wedding at your preferred venue. You didn't give us that money to help us have our day. You gave it to try and manipulate us into having your day." The table went silent. Father-in-law looked horrified. Mark looked utterly stunned and then furious. Mother-in-law's face crumbled. She started crying, saying how could I be so cruel, that they were only trying to help, that I was ungrateful. Mark jumped up, yelling that I had massively overstepped, insulted his parents, and ruined the evening. He said that I was being paranoid and that their offer was genuine and I was just being difficult and unappreciative. We left immediately. Mark is barely speaking to me, saying I owe his mother a huge apology and that if I can't be respectful to his family, maybe we need to rethink things. Mother-in-law is apparently distraught. Part of me feels justified because I truly believe her gift was manipulative and a way to leverage control. But another part of me is reeling from the fallout. Did I handle it badly? Should I have just accepted the money and ignored the suggestions? Was I too harsh? Am I the asshole for calling out my mother-in-law's offer as manipulative control instead of just accepting it quietly? In the comments, your fiancé is an idiot, but he's been manipulated by his parents his entire life, so he cannot see the forest for the trees. You did right by sticking up for yourself against her passive-aggressive behavior. Just know that it will never end. Consider that if you continue with the relationship and wedding. And OP says, "Thank you for telling me what I needed to hear." Info. Are you sure the venue that you chose is what your fiancé wants? He might be using his mother to make his point if he's turned his anger on you here. OP says, he has never suggested otherwise and has been enthusiastic talking about the venue that I chose. There's just some people, I guess, that are so actively avoidant of confrontation that they will go along with things for what I would say is an incredibly inappropriate amount of time, as I would guess is the case here. He is venting his frustration through his mother-in-law, and that is why he is defending her. That's an assumption, yes, and I know assumptions make an ass out of you and me, but when have I ever been right? I'm kidding. At this point, I'd be questioning whether the wedding is even going to happen, because why is he not supporting you? Why is he going along with them? Why can he not see the forest through the trees? Or does he see the forest through the trees, but thinks that he's comfortable where he is, and he'd rather be on his parents' side than your side? And if that's the case, why is he marrying you? Why was there not more discussion with him before this, where he was completely transparent about his feelings about the entire situation? Why did they only have to come out when you were left alone to confront his mother, who is controlling the situation and is being inappropriate? This all just gives me a terrible feeling deep down, and I don't feel like this wedding is long for this world. I don't see it happening under these circumstances. And now, on to the update. It's only been 2 days since that dinner, but it feels like everything has unraveled. Mark and I barely spoke after we left his parents' house. I tried to explain where I was coming from again, calmly this time, but he shut it down. He said that I embarrassed him and hurt his mother. He kept repeating that I was being dramatic and ungrateful. It felt like I was talking to a stranger. Then yesterday, I found out something that broke me. A friend of mine saw Mark having lunch with another woman. At first, I told myself that it was probably innocent, and I wish it had been. But when I confronted him, he admitted it. He has been seeing someone else. It started a few weeks ago. And the worst part? It was someone his mother introduced him to. Someone from her country club circle. She kept telling him this girl came from a better family and was more compatible with the kind of life that they had planned for him. He said it wasn't serious, that he was confused, that I had been so angry all the time and he felt pushed away. I could not believe what I was hearing. I asked him if he ever truly wanted to marry me or if I was just the easy choice until his mother pushed him to upgrade. He did not answer. So I ended it. I packed a bag and left. We had not sent out invitations yet. The venue can still be cancelled, mostly refunded. What hurts most is not losing the wedding, it's realizing that I was trying to fight for someone who would not fight for me, who let his mother control him to the point that he let her hand him a replacement. I am heartbroken, angry, numb, but somewhere deep down, I also feel relieved. I would rather walk away now than stay and become someone small enough to fit inside their picture-perfect frame. Thank you to everyone who commented before. You helped me see that I was not imagining things, that I was not crazy for wanting to protect the life that I was trying to build. In the comments, you didn't lose a partner. You lost a puppet and his puppeteer. I'm proud of you for choosing peace over performance. Best wishes, OP. And OP says, thanks for this. I appreciate your words. Beach Polini says, real audacious of him to get all snippy with her about hurting his mother when he was already actively cheating on her. Well, I hope he enjoys his boring country club bullshit. I know someone's gonna love OP the way that she deserves. A vintage theater wedding sounds like an absolute dream. I was so confused by the acoustics question. Theaters are designed to have excellent acoustics for live music. If you want good acoustics, by all means get married in a theater and not a damn country club. Yeah, like, what even was that argument? Oh, honey, the theater is not going to have as good acoustics as our country club is. I'm sorry. Have you got a brain tumor, lady? Where did you come up with that idea? Sorry, football team. Actually, this premier football stadium that you plan to have a game in is not up to scratch. Come out to the old dusty field out back. That is perfect for you guys to have a lovely game of football on. Do not look at that perfect stadium. It is not good for you. I'm glad that she's out. I'm surprised that he is coping so hard, saying, actually, yeah, I was having lunch with that woman, but it's nothing serious. Yeah, my mum is setting me up with someone from her country club, but it's actually not serious and you shouldn't be worried about it. They should rename that place the Lobotomy Club because that sounds more like what is going on over there for these guys to be justifying their actions in this way. OP is right to be rid of them and should count her lucky stars that she did not get shacked up and locked down with this, I don't know, gaggle of assholes? Gaggle of lobotomized assholes. The largesse of these gaggle of lobotomized assholes knows no bounds. Thank you for the story, OP, not the asshole. Our next post is by user SlightKing3996, and it's titled, I, 17 male, might not be my dad's son, and my older brother, 20 male, and my parents are making my life hell. My dad and I never had a close relationship growing up, him always preferring my older brother Junior, 20 male. Junior always had preferential treatment compared to the two of us, always the golden child, and always could do no wrong. I was always the scapegoat, always mistreated, always forgotten between the two. Our grandfather started and ran a very successful business in the area, and before he died, left it and a substantial amount of money in a trust to be inherited by all legitimate grandchildren. Grandfather didn't like our mother much, which I will get into. Our dad has a job in the business, but no real power or authority in it. Just job security at the company. Well, last weekend, my dad was digging through some old boxes and found my mum's old diaries, and it turns out that she had an affair over 20 years ago that ended just under 10 years ago when the affair partner died in a car crash. After much arguing and turmoil, my parents agreed to stay together, but only if me and Junior took DNA tests, and depending on the results, they kick the bastard out. Since the agreement, we've been to the labs. My dad's gone to a lawyer to draft papers, whatever that means, and my brother's harassment has been worse than ever, entering my room with a, "Hey there, bastard." I've asked my mum to stand up for me, but she refused, and just says that I need to be strong, and that's it. We should be getting the test results back in tomorrow, and my best friend's dad has agreed to take me in. I can't take it. What should I do? In the comments, no matter the results, you should go live with your best friend's dad, as your home life is so awful and toxic. I'm sorry that you're being put through this. Are you still in high school? Go talk to your school counselor immediately. Move out. Even if it comes back with your legal father, he's making it clear that you are unwanted. Don't do anything that would force you out of the company. That's why your brother is being a total ass. He wants to get the money, and if you go total no contact, he might be able to rob you. If you are your legal parent's child, contact the lawyers of your grandfather to see what you can get to pay for school. The best revenge is to live a great life without them in it. I know it sucks. Get some professional help with dealing with this. The emotional trauma of this will linger for decades. Also, please do not, for any reason, sign any document given to you without discussing it with a professional unrelated to your family. You should also make sure to keep notes about what is going on. If your quote-unquote father is drafting papers and the point is to disinherit you from your grandfather's estate, he should not be able to sign those papers on your behalf because he is conflicted. Self-dealing, which in the legal world is a breach of fiduciary duties and challengeable in the court. It's interesting in all of this that they don't even consider the fact that it might not be you that is the bastard in all of this. It could be your older brother. And what are they going to do in that instance? Like, have we not considered that possibility? This was an incredibly long affair that they had going on. It's entirely possible that he or the both of you are bastard children in the way that they're describing. So are you then both getting cut off from the estate? Like, what's going on? And your mum not doing anything about this and just saying that you need to be strong is such a cop-out. I'd be doing exactly what the comments are suggesting, getting what you are owed if you are the biological descendant of the grandfather, and then probably just cutting them off. And if you don't cut them off, I would definitely be going very low contact and putting distance between myself and this shit show of a family of yours. Hell nah. And now onto the update 3 years later, titled, "Am I the asshole here for forcing my parents to keep disowning my half-brother?" My parents never got along with me. They clearly favored my half-brother Junior, 23 male. My dad was especially harsh, since he wasn't what I considered an ideal son. My grandparents started a fairly successful small HVAC business in our area, and my father has a job there, but no real power. With the actual business ownership belonging to a trust, because my grandfather didn't trust my father with financial decisions. 3 years ago, my dad found some old diaries that my mum had, and in them, she detailed an affair that went on until the affair partner died 12 years ago in a car wreck. They argued for days, precisely because the trust that owns the business will be going to only biological grandchildren. My grandfather hated my mum and suspected her of fooling around. My parents agreed to reconcile if Junior and I took DNA tests. Both Junior and my dad were sure that I would not be biologically related, and they would get to kick the bastard out. Well, 3 years ago we went to the lab, went to a lawyer's office, and the tests came in. I was my father's son, Junior was not. What's more is the house that we live in was also going to only go to the biological grandchildren, and my birthday was coming up. My father was subdued on the drive home, but Junior was still mouthy. My father, to his credit, tried to mend fences that night. He looked awful. He cried, he begged for forgiveness. He asked what he could do to start making things up. I said, kick the bastard out. My parents begged, pleaded for me to try anything but that. Set up family counseling to get us fixed. I wouldn't budge. I pointed out that they were fully ready to kick me out that night if I wasn't my father's son. My father kicked Junior out that night, but he was doing it full of tears. I must confess, my relationship with my parents did not get better. My father acts like a broken man, and my mother is just silent. Honestly, they should have divorced long ago, but they don't argue anymore. I started working at the family business, going to college on the side. My parents are outright timid around me now. My father would try to spend time with me, but I brush him off. Lately, they would both ask if I was willing to have the three of us contact Junior and have all of us mend fences. I keep refusing and ask, if it was me, would you even be asking? My mentor at my grandfather's business knows the situation and has asked me if I'm doing this because I want to hurt them or if I want to avoid being hurt. In the comments, not the asshole. This goofy family has dropped more crap on you from their inability to have healthy relationships than you should ever have to deal with. Not the asshole, but I think you're going about it the wrong way. There should be no credit to your father. The only reason he tried to rebuild a relationship with you right away is because he found out that you are their meal ticket. I can't even imagine the heartache that you must have grown up with. What that car ride to the clinic before you knew the truth must have been like. The fear of thinking that you were about to be kicked out of the only family that you have known. My advice to you is to get therapy. Accept that your birth family is never going to be what you want them to be. You already grew up and they already messed up your childhood. Figure out what you want from your life and pursue that. Remember, you owe them nothing. The business and the house belong to your grandparents and now you. Put yourself first, since they never bothered to do that for you. They would have 100% thrown him to the curb if he wasn't his dad's son. I wouldn't want a relationship with my mum or dad after my treatment and mum's silence. I hope OP thrives in the company and exceeds his sperm donor. I wonder if the parents have any contact with Junior. I guarantee you they never stopped being in contact and are subsidizing his living arrangements. He is the favorite after all. I wonder who the grandfather thought the bio-grandkid was, or if his will was just pure spite for the mother. Maybe just wording out of spite without any thought that there may be illegitimate children. Whatever the case, I still stick by my words from before. I don't think this changes the situation much. OP has to leave that house eventually, and if and when that day comes, Junior's going to be right back where he started, because this was never about the Iranian yogurt, as the kids say. This was about their hatred for OP, and it's just unfortunate that Junior was caught in the crossfire. I don't think it's healthy for OP to stay in that household, to stay with his parents like that. Just go live your life away from them. Let them all be sad and miserable together. I don't know what you have to gain from all of that. You're not the asshole still, OP, but you're going to be tormenting yourself the longer you stay there, I feel like. Thank you for the story. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.